On one of our normal days in Sacramento, the gangway to the Delta King floating hotel and restaurant is a careful walk down to the main deck so you can get in. Not today. Now you're climbing up to the Delta King, and the exit is what you have to be careful about. The Sacramento River is high. Let's go see how high. We're atop the Tower Bridge, Sacramento icon, bright gold in the sun, except there's no sun today. It's not quite raining, but we have a good breeze. We escaped a lot of rain yesterday, but the forecast says that more of those atmospheric rivers are bound to hit. It's walloped the state, it's walloped the coast in particular, and we have to be mindful that here in Sacramento, it's at least 5 people have died, including 2 unhoused people when trees fell on them. Dozens of trees have fallen all over. In the Wilson area south of here, the flooding because of the low places persists. It's still a danger. Authorities are advising people to just be safe and call emergency in case of trouble. But this bridge, the Tower Bridge, does 2 things for me. One, it has a gauge that tells those people who are in charge of keeping us safe in terms of a flood, how high the water gets before it reaches flood stage. So if you can see through the debris, it's about 9 feet before it reaches flood stage. And then on the other barrier that protects the trestles of the bridge is the gauge for me, and I think other people are interested, how high has the river gotten from a baseline? It's now 27 feet from that baseline. It has to reach 29.5 feet before those in charge will open the gates of the weir or the floodgates 2 miles up the river that will shunt excess water out to the space between Sacramento and the Davis, a place called the Yolo Basin or the Yolo Causeway, and that will relieve the flood damage. Apparently water is flowing. I don't know if that means that the gates are open yet, but water is flowing at another weir about 5 miles up the Sacramento River, the Fremont Weir, and that water also gets shunted to the Yolo Causeway. And that's a great shallow lake for Pacific Flyway, and it relieves the flooding pressure on Sacramento. Some of the debris has been caught by these fairly new barriers that protect the trestles. I think I saw some workers out here yesterday in boats clearing the debris because that barrier is cleared. I'm fortunate to have a window near my office where I can see down the river, and occasionally I see what looks like a grove of trees coming down the river. I'm curious to know where those objects came from and how far they'll reach. Patio furniture, all kinds of oddments that I just wonder, where did they start? On whose back porch with a scenic view did that stuff start and then end up lodged in the breakwater that protects the Delta King from further damage? The gauge tells those who need to know that the water is about 11 feet below flood stage. It's a little bit higher than it was yesterday, but for now, despite the fast-moving waters, we are safe. We are standing on the levee protecting this part of Sacramento. This is a concrete seawall that helps do the job. And then on the other side of the Sacramento River, that's part of West Sacramento. The Tower Bridge is the main entrance into West Sacramento, and the river walk over there is a green but functioning levee. We are about a mile downriver from the confluence of the Sacramento and American rivers, which reminds us that we are in a confluence of time. About this time, 173 years ago, was the anniversary of the first flood that hit Sacramento City. That inundated the town and made the people who settled Sacramento City wonder if maybe we haven't built in quite the right spot. But we are also at the confluence of the anniversary of the worst flood to hit not only Sacramento but California. That was 162 years ago, the 1861-62 flood, which compelled this city to raise its central business district above what they hope would be future high water stages. And the city survived and thrived and is the seat of state government and the transportation hub of this part of California. And it reminds us that we are the indomitable city. We have survived long odds to remain here. The water reminds us that the nature has survived long odds too. I've been here in the 2017 flood, watching this river water flood past, and yet seeing a sea lion poke its head, seeking first dibs on the salmon running. Don't know about the osprey on the pole there on the I Street Bridge. That's an osprey nest, and I haven't seen them in a while. Maybe they'll come back when the weather's better. But we are safe and sound. We're happy for the people who help make us safe and sound. We're happy that people are listening to them and keeping safe and not taking any chances. And we will see you again with another update.